I agree. But there are possible explanations to these postings from other parts of the Empire to the British legions. It may be that Rome seeks, as it were, to keep open the lines of communication. It may be that she does not choose that Marcus Aurelius Carausius should have at his command legions that are completely cut away from the rest of the Empire. That way comes a fighting force that follows none but its own leader, and owns no ties whatsoever with Imperial Rome. Licinius had leaned forward and shut down the lid of the bronze inkstand with a small, deliberate click. Quite honestly, I wish your posting had been to any other province of the Empire. Justin had stared at him in bewilderment. Why so, sir? Because I knew your father, and therefore take a certain interest in your welfare. How much do you in fact understand about the situation in Britain? About the Emperor Carausius, who is the same thing in all that matters? Very little, I am afraid, sir. Well then listen, and maybe you will understand a little more. In the first place, you can rid your mind of any idea that Carausius is framed of the same stuff as most of the 6-month, sword-made emperors we have had in the years before Diocletian and Maximian split the purple between them. He is the son of a German father and a Hibernian mother, and that is a mixture to set the sparks flying. Born and bred in one of the trading stations that the Manopians of the German Sea set up long since in Hibernia, and only came back to his father's people when he reached manhood. He was a Scaldus river pilot when I knew him first. Afterwards he broke into the legions, the gods know how. He served in Gaul and Illyria, and under the Emperor Carus in the Persian War, rising all the time. He was one of Maximian's right-hand men in suppressing the revolts in eastern Gaul, and made such a name for himself that Maximian, remembering his naval training, gave him command of the fleet based on Gessariacum, and the task of clearing the northern seas of the Saxons swarming in them. Licinius had broken off there, seeming lost in his own thoughts, and in a little Justin had prompted respectfully, "Was there not there a tale that he let the sea-wolves through on their raids, and then fell on them when they were heavy with spoil on their homeward way?" "Aye, and sent none of the spoil to Rome. It was that, I imagine, that roused Maximian's ire. We shall never know the rights of that tale, but at all events Maximian ordered his execution, and Carausius got wind of it in time and made for Britain, followed by the whole fleet. He was ever such a one as men follow gladly. By the time the official order for his execution was at Gessariacum, Carausius had dealt with the governor of Britain and proclaimed himself emperor with 3 British legions and a large force from Gaul and Lower Germany to back his claim, and the sea swept by his galleys between him and the executioner. Aye, better galleys and better seamen than ever Maximian could lay his hand to. And in the end, Maximian had no choice but to make peace and own him for a brother emperor. "But we have not kept the peace," Justin had said bluntly after a moment. "No. And to my mind, Constantius's victories in North Gaul this spring are more shame to us than defeat could have been. No blame to the young Caesar. He is a man under authority like the rest of us, though he will sit in Maximian's place one day. Well, the peace abides, after a fashion. But it is a situation that may burst into a blaze at any hour, and if it does, the gods help anyone caught in the flames." The commander had pushed back his chair and risen, turning to the window. "And yet, in an odd way, I think I envy you, Justin." Justin had said, "You liked him then, sir?" And he remembered now how Licinius had stood looking out into the moonlit night. "I have never been sure," he had said, "but I would have followed him into the mouth of Erebus itself," and turned back to the lamp. That had been almost all, save that at the last Licinius had stayed him in the doorway, saying, "If you should at any time have speech with the great man himself, salute him from me, and ask